Didn't think the ball was coming. When I looked up, I didn't see the ball, and I looked back, I didn't see the ball, and then the ball was thrown. So, like I said, we just missed.
Did you guys talk after the play about maybe miscommunication? What happened?
No.
In a game like this that is that close, is that one of those plays that you'll kind of think about from this one?
Yeah, because it's a big play, but there's so much more that you can look at and determine what we didn't do well at. So
Why do you think you guys gave up a 17-3 lead in the fourth
why?
quarter?
I don't know, man. That's a crazy question.
It was like on that play that
The passing game overall today.
Passing game, we started out really good. We were throwing the ball around the yard. Just in finishing the second half, the inconsistency showed up again. So
obviously all losses are frustrating, AJ, but the ones where it feels like you guys shot yourself in the foot a lot and almost beat yourselves. Give them credit, but obviously things you could have done differently. How much more frustrating are those ones?
yeah, it's frustrating because most of the things were self-inflicted, and we beat ourselves, especially in the second half. So
there were deep shots in this game that you guys were taking. Why do you feel like those were there in this game?
why?
In terms of Denver was doing what you guys were doing.
They was playing man to man. It's simple. Yeah. What we wanted, and they gave it to us.
You said a few times about not being on the same page. Did you see that in this game?
I don't know. That's something from those two. I mean, if he said that, he probably thought that, but
You didn't feel that?
no, not for me. I think he probably talking about like a signal, one or two plays or something. Not mine.
The beginning of the game, the passing game was clicking. Do you feel like you took steps in the right direction, maybe in stuff that had been hurting you early in the season to have that success early, or?
I mean, obviously we can learn from what we did well. Kind of what I just said. The inconsistency showed up again, and we got to play full quarter. And we have to stop putting a lot of pressure on our defense because they're playing really good. But we just got to pull our in. So at times we did, and then the second half we just stalled out. So there's a lot of things to work on and continue to get better.
How frustrating is that? I mean, it seems like every game you guys go through like a dry spell.
Yeah.
In the passing game. I mean, what are you seeing in those situations?
I don't want to give you my frustration, but it's just something to work on, something to continue to harping on and continue to have a sense of urgency with getting better in this area, so we can improve and get this thing rolling. So
You guys had success going up tempo in this one, and it seems like maybe the penalties and such kind of kept you from doing it. Was that part of the plan and part of the problem?
But penalties or tempo?
Or not being able to get to the tempo at certain points?
No, like I said earlier, self-inflicted wounds. Tempo definitely threw them off a little bit, but self-inflicted kind of, So yeah.
I know you're not like a run game guy, obviously. You are involved in it to some extent. You guys have gone in these last two games in the second quarter with showing good teams. Typically, you guys are able to put them away on the ground. Didn't really run much in the second half. Did you guys get away from it too much?
No, I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know.
AJ, you're a leader on this team. What you say matters. This week, leading up to Thursday, what will your emphasis be to your teammates on things you need to clean up from your point of view?
Just first start what I said with the self-inflicted wounds, clean that up, and they make plays, they're gonna make plays, they're in the NFL too. But we gotta come out and not let whatever defense dictate what we do on offense, and just really just have urgency about it, getting it fixed. Unfortunately, this loss sucks. Last week I said we learned from winning or we learned from losing. So now on the other side of it, and so now we have another opportunity. We have another opportunity, short week, to turn it around and get this thing going. So
When the issues are self-inflicted, how do you view that when you're trying to correct them? Is that
How do you-
almost a positive thing that it's there to fix?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it as positive. We look at it as holding our guys accountable. Like we're not asking guys to be perfect. because nobody's perfect, but the things that, like Nick said, it's the things that get you beat are self-inflicted. And that's something that we can't do to ourselves. And I even had a penalty today, trying to block a safety, false start. So with myself, I can't let that happen as well.
To return to that deep ball, you were talking about it, tracking it. It looked like Jalen pumped on it. Was that something you saw, and did that contribute to, not getting to it?
I don't know. I didn't see him, so I can't tell you like what he did back there. But from my point of view, I'm just gonna say we both missed, and that happens.
You mentioned it was a short week. Not all players love those Thursday night games, but is this one of those weeks where you're happy you guys want to get back out there pretty quickly and you don't have to think about this one for too long?
Of course, to get back out there, but yeah, this is something to think about. Like I said, we learn from winning, we learn from losing, and it's a lot to learn from today, just like all other weeks. And so now it's really a point of emphasis because that loss hit different. Yeah. So yeah, we got work to do.
AJ, have you found it different to? You guys are coming off having won the Super Bowl, and a lot of you have never won a Super Bowl before. To come back and reestablish the same level of focus and preparation and discipline and all those things, has it been different from previous seasons in this context compared to last year, the year before that, anything like that?
I think the preparation is still the same regardless if we won last year or not. I think it was still the same when we lost a couple years back. So that doesn't have anything to do with it. I think this locker room and the coaches always come in and they prepare their butts off and try to do his best for the team. So I think the level of focus goes up even more. So I don't think it was different.
What was it about this loss that made it different?
We lost. We didn't win.
How strange did that feel after winning so often over
last? Yeah, I don't get caught up in wins and losses. Obviously, we don't want the loss on our record, but for me, I try to stay even keel, even though we win or we lose. You can't just expect you're gonna come out and win every single game. No, like sometimes you get hit in the mouth, and if you don't correct things, that comes up, and again, it came up today. So.
How important will it be for this offense to try to play its best game all around? You didn't run the ball much, but it seemed like one part of your game goes well and another part doesn't.
That's something that we always trying to, do. Play complementary football, all three phases, and especially on offense, get the run game going, get the pass game going, and vice versa, So we're working, we're trying to fix it, and we're optimistic about it because I know these coaches and these players are working their butts off to do it. So
left a couple plays out there we wasn't on the same page, but ultimately we gotta get on the same page and continue to be on the same page.
What was contributing to not being on the same page?
Just little things where we weren't seeing a signal and things like that.
DeVonta, we're in week 5 with this one. Why do you think that's happening so?
It's just the flow of the game, Within a play, it's a lot that's on guys' minds, certain routes and just certain things like that. Jalen has a lot on his mind and things like that. He's trying to work with the protection and things like that. So it's times where, we're looking at him and, he may give a signal before or after we look. And, ultimately we have to be on the same page. We have to see that signal no matter what.
Is tempo part of that? Like complicating or whenever you're trying to go up?
Tempo, I feel like we were fine. It was just little things within the routes. He may have seen some pre-snap, and we just sometimes we didn't see it.
You think today was more about you guys beating yourselves than it was?
Yeah, for sure. Self-inflicted wounds. We had 2 in our room, 2 false starts in our room. I think we had 3 false starts offensively as a whole. We just shooting ourselves in the foot. That's all it was. We don't do that. We win that game.
On that false start, did you stumble or did you hear?
Nah, that was on me. I wasn't keyed into the snap count.
On this short week now, as you look ahead, is it good that it's a short week? Did you flush this one quickly?
Yeah, you got to move on to the next one.
We saw them dial up shots for you on 3rd and 4th down. Do you appreciate that aggressiveness?
Yeah, we talk about being aggressive all the time, and we know when we do that and we're aggressive, a lot of good things happen.
How did you think the deep ball worked today?
I feel like it was good, but also it was times where we wasn't on the same page on some things.
One thing, the pass game kind of got
wrap it up a little bit. 38 pass attempts is a lot. I can't remember the last time Jalen had that many. There's only 6 runs for Barkley. Is it kind of an offense that might be out of balance a little bit, do you think?
I wouldn't say out of balance. I think it was just, based on what they were doing. They were playing a good little bit of man. We like our chances when teams play us man, but we have to be on the same page on certain things. And, like I said, we just shot ourselves in the foot at times.
Do you know what happened with the illegal shift? Did you get communication with the rest of them?
No, I don't know nothing about that.
What's the process in terms of getting on the same page? Does that start during the week of practice, and how do you hone in on that?
Yeah, you can do it at practice all you want, but it's in the moment. Like I said, guys are thinking about it a lot. Guys are looking around, trying to, dissect what coverage it is and things like that. It could be a split second that, you're looking up and then you look away to, see if anybody's moving or the coverage is rotating and he throws a signal. So, sometimes it's just, it's the look of it. Sometimes you look up and he does it and you don't see it. And, sometimes it's just, us just being on the same page, knowing the signals and things.
Have to go back and see it on tape, but would have been interesting to see what happened down there.
Was there any explanation from the official in that moment?
No.
You haven't seen it yet?
No.
DeVonta was talking about just stalling on the opposite, catching signals from Jalen. Sometimes what we're missing those. Was that what were you experiencing out there?
Yeah, obviously, little things, that we did to ourselves, being on different pages, a couple penalties, where we have a nice run, it gets called back. We hit down the field, it gets called back. Things like that need to be cleaned up. Obviously, missed one down the field deep. The game could have went different, and offensively, I feel like we let the team down for sure.
That was something DeVonta said, like not being on the same page. From your perspective, what did that mean in this game?
I wouldn't necessarily say not being on the same page, but it's just execution-wise, having penalties, getting behind the sticks, things like that. Plays being called back, always hurts you when they get behind the sticks, but there was plays to be made out there that we didn't make, and, that ultimately decided the game.
Dallas, did you feel in the moment that you were interfered with?
Like I said, I felt like there was a little bit of contact there. Nothing was called. The game really shouldn't even have came down to that, but, I'll watch on film and see what